Hi everybody, welcome back to Dave's Garage 249. So now that we've got the front end of the car pretty much squared away, it's to the back end of the car, and I cleaned up the brake drums, treated them just like I did the front drums in the previous video. 8-inch Cragars SS's, I'll show you those in a second, and just kind of spray bombed everything. And also while I was at it, I removed the shocks, and I've got some new gas shocks on their way. So everything will look a little bit more tidy back here. There's the old shocks. They're just kind of nasty looking. Really not in bad shape. They're not wet, not leaking. And I like to give them they compress. They're fairly hard to compress, and then they somewhat return back. So these shocks are probably still usable on something else. Not my car. Cragars are here, Cragars are here. These are 8-inch, 4 1/4 backspace. I got Unilugs, and I've already mentioned I'm not happy about Unilugs, but for some reason in the Chrysler bolt pattern, the 8-inch rims are conical seat, and I want the same style lug nut on everything, front and back. So, plus that's kind of an oddball thing to have on a Cragars, as a conical seat. Here's the shouldered lug nuts I'll be using. They're open-ended. If you ever go to the drag strip, which who knows, maybe this car will do that, they kind of want to see that because they want to see that you've got all your axle studs on the back end of the car. They don't, you know, people will, and they also want to see that you've got some threads in there. Okay, so got some brand new KYB gas adjust shocks for the back end of this car. I want to show you too that what I do is I use a self-locking nut on these. That way you don't have to torque them down and pinch. I grease the insides of these washers, both sides, and the sleeve inside the shock. That way it keeps moisture out. Also, I want this thing to be able to rotate back and forth, because as the shock goes up and down, it does rotate slightly on these posts. Same thing with the top mount. Way up in top, I don't know if we can see it, but I use a nylock up there because I had plenty of thread to do that with, and then that way you don't have to, you know, put them at 5 million foot-pounds of torque, and then you wind up binding the shock up on the post, and that makes the suspension much more reactive. So measuring up this wheel well opening and backspace, I came up with 4 1/4 backspace, or 4 1/8 backspace on these Cragars. I'll have about 1 3/4 inch clearance between the rim and the leaf spring, and I sized the 275 60/15 60 series, and I'm afraid that what it'll do is rub, and I'm afraid that that's where they're going to rub, right there on those spring clamps. So instead, I got a 235 70/15 coming, and I'll show you the tire when I get it here. It's kind of a cool tire size. We're going back to radial tires on the back end too. How's that looking? Okay, so here's the end result. It's like 10 degrees outside, but I backed it out so we could get a total look at how this car looks now with the Cragars and the wheel and tire combination, and I am really happy. Got to be careful where I'm walking because there's ice everywhere. We had an ice storm a couple days ago. It's not cleared up yet, but so that's it for this video. If you like the video, please hit that like button, and subscribe if you like. I appreciate all subscribers, and we're going to move on to the next thing, which is hopefully mount the hood scoop on there, and I got to build some new shackles for the back end. So other than that, this video is a wrap. Thanks for watching. Too bad I can't go out and do some burnouts. We'll see you later.